Hey everyone, and welcome to SkillCapped. In this guide, we'll be going over the mechanics behind spray control for your favorite two rifles, and also some bonus tips for the other guns. Spraying in Valorant is definitely random at times, but we've got ways to improve your consistency so you can get into ranked and spray with confidence. It's important to fully understand the small details and mechanics for each gun so you guys can practice optimally on your own. Hopefully, this guide will take your gunplay to the next level. Whenever you miss a first bullet, you should always want to recover by doing a spray. An important skill to pair with this is the tracing technique, because you have to start moving your crosshair to where the enemy is going to go. A flashy technique you guys can learn from this guide is spray transferring, which allows you to kill multiple enemies in one clip. We'll be showing you a practice routine on that later on in the video to improve this skill, so stick around for that. Before we start getting into the technical aspects of spray control, I want to get into the greatest debate of all time, which is Phantom versus Vandal. I'm going to be honest with you guys right now and say it. For spray control, Phantom is 100% the better gun in this aspect. Not saying spray control is impossible for the Vandal, but the Phantom's rate of fire and spread is a lot more controllable than the Vandal's. And if you're serious about improving, then go to SkillCapped.com to unlock our hyper improvement system that will teach you how to win more gunfights, master your agent, and so much more. Backed by our rank improvement guarantee, you have nothing to lose. So come join over 500,000 satisfied members of SkillCapped, improve that KDA, and get the rank you've always wanted at SkillCapped.com. Link in the description below. Alright, so starting off, we'll talk about the Phantom and how the spray works for this gun. The first 3 bullets are mostly straight up and directly where you're aiming, assuming you are stationary. The third bullet has a chance of recoiling upwards, but mostly they are clumped together. The fourth bullet is where the recoil will skyrocket. The upwards recoil starts to kick in, which forces you to pull your mouse downwards. From around the 4th to 8th bullet, the recoil goes up and then starts to stabilize at a certain area leaning towards the right side. For the next 4 to 5 bullets, there will be a random bloom that happens on the right side, and then the next 4 to 5 will be on the left side. Anything beyond that will be a randomly timed rotate between the right and the left side. You can actually test this out yourself by turning on unlimited bullets in the practice range and spraying on the wall. A general tip to know whether or not your spray is on the right or left side is to actually look at your muzzle. The barrel leans towards the direction of where the bullets are going to head towards, so always try to look out for that in your peripherals. Now, to determine how far you pull down, we can use the outer line offset as a reference for the Phantom. For the Phantom, the offset is around 32. It's not exact, but that should give you a good place to start. Think of this like a training wheel. Have this on in the range and start spraying on the bots at all ranges to get used to where the recoil is kind of at. Overall though, the general rule is for the first 8 bullets, try to just pull down your mouse a bit. Afterwards, start to aim a bit left and then be ready to go to the right afterwards because of the pattern we discussed earlier. A very good example of a pro with good spray control using the Phantom is Drone from TSM. He's very good at controlling where his crosshair is at for the initial 8 bullets and maintains a consistent placement for where the bullets are generally going to go afterwards. Now onto the Vandal, where we can apply very similar concepts that we talked about for the Phantom. For the first 2 bullets of the Vandal, it actually goes straight up and has quite a distance in between those shots. When we looked at the Phantom, the 2 bullets were relatively close. Because of this though, right off the bat, you actually need to pull down a bit just to get a good 2 bullet burst going. Now, the same mechanics apply to the Vandal, where after the initial 3 bullets, a huge recoil kicks in for the next 4 to 5 bullets, each bullet going up in recoil drastically. Something to keep in mind though is that generally the first 8 bullets is a consistent upwards recoil without the left and right sway. After the 8th bullet though, the recoil brings the shots right for anywhere between 3 to 5 bullets and then goes left afterwards. Both rifles have very similar spray patterns, but the Vandal's recoil is definitely higher. For a reference point, you can turn on outer lines and set it to 35. That is about how high the Vandal's recoil is going to be. You can again test this out by spraying the bots and get a feel for the recoil. Remember to follow the direction of the barrel while spraying with your peripherals to practice adjusting your aim accordingly. Now, I want to give a quick shout out to the Bulldog. As I was testing out other spray patterns, the Bulldog actually had a predictable and partially controllable one. The Bulldog's first 4 bullets are similar to the main rifles where they generally just shoot straight upwards. The next 4 bullets become a bit shaky and the recoil starts to kick in. Afterwards, it starts to consistently curve to the left. Even though there seems to be a pattern, the bloom for the Bulldog is far too big for it to be consistently used in a mid-range spray fight. But knowing that the Bulldog leans towards the left side every time to begin with is good information to have regardless. For the Spectre, interestingly enough, the first 10 bullets are usually just an upwards recoil with a bit of sway in between, but nothing uncontrollable. Anything afterwards, it cycles between swaying left or right randomly. You can generally get away with spraying it in close to medium range, but in far range, the damage fall off is very high and spraying is very inconsistent. The only notable feature about this gun is that it has a very high rate of fire, so the first 10 bullets happen very quickly. Be ready to pull down almost immediately for the recoil to be controlled well. The Stinger is possibly the most controversial gun because of its rate of fire. Through testing, the recoil is ridiculous to control, but I do have an interesting trick to use this gun effectively. Currently, the Stinger is very strong because of this reason. You can kill somebody at close and medium range within the 20 bullet magazine size as long as you aim around the body for the first bullet and you pull down the recoil. Here's the test done for the shooting range. Notice the damage output after the 20 bullets. The rate of fire is so ridiculously high that the 20 bullets go by in a second. We can see that as long as it's not 30 meters or above, it will do consistently 150 plus damage within the 20 clips if you are aiming at the chest while crouching. This gun is ridiculous on a save round purchase, and I'm sure Riot might have some changes around it coming soon. Alright, so now that I've covered most of the main guns that players usually use, I'm going to talk about what you can do in the range to practice spraying. For the first exercise, we'll be using the outer lines as mentioned before and begin by having all the bots stationary. Stand in front of the ranges menu and turn on unlimited ammo. Spray the bots using the guidelines as a reference on how far you should pull down and where you should be aiming depending on how far the bot is. Remember to also look at the barrel's direction to know if you should be aiming more towards the right or left. Do this exercise for about 5 to 10 minutes to get the spray recoil warmed up. For the second exercise, be in the same position as the first exercise and instead of just spraying endlessly, try to pick 2 targets and spray transfer them. So start with your crosshair on the first target, shoot it, and then instantly flick to the second target you had your eye on earlier. Try to control the spray with the previous tips we've mentioned before in mind and hit the second target as fast as you can. I find that this develops the spray transfer skills the best, and over time you'll be able to do this consistently in game. Again, do this for about 5 to 10 minutes to get the timing and the feeling of a spray transfer. Depending on the gun you want to use, practice each one individually and spend as much time as you feel like you need to be confident in spraying at any range. Try to mix in movement to make it more practical, but overall, just have fun with it. And remember, if you want to improve, win more gunfights, and get the rank you've always wanted, then check out SkillCapped.com, link in the description below. Alright, so let us know in the comment section below which gun you find easiest to control your spray with. And while you're down there, leave a like and hit that subscribe button with bells on to get more premium guides that help you improve. We here at SkillCapped want to thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.